Hey guys! In a recent interview I did over at Cool Boy Shane's podcast, we mentioned and geeked out a little bit about Pokemon for each other. Or with each other, I should say.
It was all for you.
It was all for me. So I figured a nice interesting thing to do here. I'll show him a couple of Pokemon, see what he thinks about the new ones. But I wanted to make it a little bit more fun. Today we'll be doing, is it Pokemon, is it D&D, or is it OC? Say hey, Shane.
Hey, Shane.
Oh, yeah. Boy.
I love it. I don't play the games, obviously, as much as I used to when I was younger, but I'm excited to see what designs you're about to unveil for me.
So I had a lot of fun with these drawings. I hope that people have a lot of fun looking at them. This little creature is either a direwolf when the unbreaking rage of a barbarian meets lycanthropy. The direwolf is born. With relentless bloodlust, these are dangerous foes. Or is it a Lycanroc? The more intimidating the opponent it faces, the more this Pokemon's blood boils. It will attack with no regard for its own safety.
Alright, so my immediate inclination is this has to be a Pokemon because of the three colors that it's using. Like, it just feels very Pokemon-y, I guess. The white, the black, and the red.
The red, the white, like the Pokeball colors.
If it were a dire werewolf, you would expect it to just have like regular wolf fur, you know what I mean? But because of that bright red, it makes me think that this is a Pokemon, especially since like I really like the Pokemon little description that it gives. Definitely it matches the picture, I think, a little bit more accurately, I suppose.
I see. Okay. You're gonna say that this is a Pokemon?
That's my final answer, Regis.
Okay. So, cue the music. Yeah, this is a Pokemon. You got the first one right.
Woohoo!
Hooray!
Yeah.
Well, good job on that first one. Now how about this next one?
Alright, here we go.
So, Shane, is this a phase hound? Phase hounds can usually be found roaming around smaller villages, picking up scraps of food, and disappearing into the ethereal plane. They use their natural speed and phasing abilities to avoid contact with the inhabitants of said villages. Or is this a Boltund? This Pokemon generates electricity and channels it into its legs to keep them going strong. Boltund can run non-stop for 3 full days.
Wow. This is a tougher one. I really like the description of the Boltund. Like, that definitely seems like a Pokemon Pokedex.
Right, it has like that language.
But I'm looking at them and I'm like, didn't they already make this with Electrike and Manectric? Like, weren't those like electric dogs?
Right. So you're thinking maybe they wouldn't be that repetitive?
Yeah, it makes me think like they wouldn't do another electric dog. I mean, they've done electric mice again and again.
Right, like every gen basically.
But I just assume probably not another dog. I'm gonna just go with my gut and say this is not a Pokemon. That this is either the Phase Hound or maybe this could be your own OC.
Shane, this is a Pokemon.
Ugh.
So yeah, I think either way, he's a really good boy.
He's a good boy either way. I do like that Pokedex entry. I wish I could run for 3 full days without stopping.
Yeah, right. Without getting tired. All right, well, cool. So let's try to mix things up.
What in the good golly gosh is this thing?
So, Shane, is this a Knell Beetle? The most obvious feature of the Knell Beetle is its chitin horn. A massive bell or trumpet-like structure that juts forward from the top of its head, tapering over the shoulders and flaring wildly out in front of the head. This horn emits high-pitched warbling and trumpeting, faint when dormant, louder when communicating or attacking. Or is this a Grammadrone? It uses the cone-like horn to amplify its psychic powers. It can manipulate sounds to scare or lure people towards it.
Alright, well, I like the design a lot. I definitely think this looks kind of reminiscent of the Ariados, like the spider.
Oh,
from,
right.
From
Ariados? Yeah.
Yeah. It's got a similar look to it. Or maybe the one from 5th edition, the electric spider, the tarantula one. Kind of looks like it could be a relative of either of those.
Right.
However,
Uh-huh.
I think the name Nell Beetle is super clever.
Mm-hmm.
And what it does, the fact that it's got like basically a bell or like a horn built into its head, and like it goes into all this detail. I have to think this is probably a D&D monster.
Well, Shane, you are right. This is a D&D monster.
Okay, I redeemed
Nice
myself
deduction.
here.
Yeah.
I really like the design though. That could be a Pokemon.
Oh, well, thank you. So, let's keep this going.
What the?
Pikachu!
Excuse my language.
Is this a REJKAR? Though REJKARs look like beasts of burden, they are far from it. Usually evil in alignment, the intelligent REJKARs will seek to corrupt primitive people of the north, playing the role of the spirit guide in order to manipulate tribes. Or is it a Karusian? There are tales of travelers finding this Pokemon in heavy blizzards and being led to safety by their glowing noses.
Oh, that's tough. Let's see. Well, I like the Rudolph allegory and Karusian, but I like REJKAR. Just seems cooler. Like, it's a cooler name, first of all.
Uh-huh.
Secondly, it definitely makes, this is like a ram, not a reindeer, so it kind of fits a little better. I also like the idea that it's an evil spirit guide. Yeah, I'm gonna go D&D monster.
Well, Shane, you are right. This is a D&D monster.
All right, I'm doing pretty good so far.
Yeah, you're doing really good. The whole Rudolph thing was me trying to add more spice on it. But yeah, it seems like it's a pretty interesting D&D monster because it's got apparently some sort of psionic powers.
That is interesting. I also think that this design could work as, again, I think you could be a Pokemon designer. These are really good.
Oh, well, thank you. Let's keep it going.
Whoa.
This one might be a thinker. Is it a SIPHON NAGA, the work of an overzealous artificer? All the SIPHON NAGA knows is draining its victims and leaving the corpses. Or is this a Naganadel? It stores hundreds of liters of poisonous liquids inside its body. It is one of the organisms known as UBs.
What's a UB?
Okay, so a UB.
3 hours later.
So Pokemon from an alternate universe?
Basically.
I do like this design. I like that it's basically got needles for a butt. It's just
Right.
It's just a shot butt. It's very edgy.
It's just a big needle butt.
Super edgelordy type Pokemon. The only reason I'm leaning Pokemon though is because SIPHON NAGA is such the description's a little bit vague. And thus far I've seen a lot of these D&D descriptions are kind of more in depth than the Pokédex ones.
Right.
I'm gonna, you know what? Maybe you're getting me with this UB thing. I'm gonna go Pokemon Naganadel.
Naganadel. Yeah. Oh, well, Shane, it seems all of my detail has not blurred your vision because you are right. That is indeed a Pokemon.
So which game is this one from?
This one is from, I believe it's Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, here we go. This new guy.
Oh my god. This is like from an acid trip.
So, Shane, is this an ORTHID? Once the pet of an Illithid, it gained psionic powers when its master died and gifted said powers to them in an attempt at immortality. Or is this a Hairvoyant? Many monks have tried to learn Hairvoyant's meditation methods, but none have unlocked its psychic powers.
Oh, wow. Okay. This is very weird looking. What is the ball? Is that its tail? That giant, circle behind
Yeah,
it?
that's its tail. That's a big, fluffy tail. I think it says that, supposedly it's using its psychic powers to kind of keep the tail groomed, as it were.
This is the one that I think is the most tough, because Hairvoyant is such a great name. But I don't know why anyone on the Pokemon team would allow something that ugly to be a Pokemon. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. This is difficult. I'll go Pokemon because I really like the name Hairvoyant.
Well, Shane, I'll take that as a compliment because this is an OC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a creature of my own design. All right, let's go with this next one.
Look at this little guy.
Yeah, he's a tiny little guy. But is this little guy a shocker lizard? A shocker lizard relies on its electricity abilities in combat. A lizard tends to bite only after its shock has rendered an opponent unconscious, or when the shock seems to have no effect at all. A solitary lizard flees once it delivers its shock, but if other shocker lizards are nearby, they all home in on their comrades' discharges and attempt to administer their shocks to the foe. Or is this a Lizamp? This Pokemon is unable to control the amount of electricity it releases when defending itself. It prefers running to fighting.
Oof. This is also tough. Because, like, this is a very cute design. And there really aren't that many electric lizards in Pokemon. So I feel like Lizamp would make sense.
You think there's a niche that needs filling?
I do. I think that this is a good niche. Also, it's a perfect Pokédex entry. The other one's kind of wordy.
Right.
It could be that you found that online, copied and pasted it, and then just drew something. You know, but I don't know. I feel like Lizamp is clever enough and concise enough. But maybe... Oh, there's a lot of detail in Shocker Lizard.
There is a lot of detail in Shocker Lizard.
And I don't think you'd put two OCs back to back. You wouldn't do that to me, would you?
Would I be so devious?
Okay. I'm gonna just... Alright, I'll say OC. This is an OC.
Ooh, okay, Shane. Well, this in fact is a D&D monster.
That was I was thinking, I was on the fence. I almost chose D&D monster, but I'm like...
Right.
This probably put two OCs back to back because he didn't think I'd pick two in a row.
Just to try to trick you.
Just shake me off.
No, this is indeed like I said, a D&D monster. And yeah, I found its description weirdly wordy.
I want a shocker lizard. I'm just saying.
Let's see for this next one. Look at this happy little guy. So Shade, is this guy a fairy fungus? Often mistaken as harmless, these tiny assassins will lure victims into dark, damp places with their magical lights and use the body to gestate their young. Or is this a Shinotic? It emits flickering spores that cause drowsiness. When its prey succumbs to sleep, this Pokemon feeds on them by sucking in their energy.
You know what? This one's really, really tough. Because I think I like the first one better because it's more gruesome.
Right, it's a little darker.
I feel like you're trying to throw me off with a little smiley face.
Let's just put a smiley face on this guy.
Yeah, especially since we've seen Gloom and Vileplume and they kind of look similar. I don't want to think that this is a Pokemon just because I've seen the design already. I'm going to go Fairy Fungus because that's more interesting.
Well, Shane, this is a Pokemon.
Damn it.
This is indeed a Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like a Pokemon. I just now I'm getting too meta. I'm thinking you're trying to trick me here.
Yeah, am I trying to outmaneuver you, or am I being too simplistic? We'll have to find out. All right. Now what about this bigger guy? Is this guy an Arrowhawk? Arrowhawks are predators and scavengers from the elemental plane of air. They are consummate flyers that spend their entire lives on the wing. Or is this a Cercovi? The flapping of its wings has been mistaken for a flock or a storm. While in flight, it can use its legs as wings, increasing its speed.
Well, I feel like I think I know a little bit too much because I'm pretty sure Arrowhawks are real. I played in the elemental
plane of air,
the Princes of the Apocalypse one, and I think we saw these things when we fought the Cult of Air. So I mean, unless I'm making this up right now, I'm pretty sure.
right.
I'm pretty sure this is an Arrowhawk.
Now, am I just fooling you by taking that description that already
It's an Arrowhawk.
Yes, yes, Shane. This is indeed an Arrowhawk. It is a D&D monster. You are correct.
I kind of only barely count that one though because I already knew about it.
All right, let's see. Now here's the last one.
Oh my god.
Isn't this just a fun little man? Is this a PITCHUP? An explorer would be foolish to stick their noses in any unknown plant, as it could be a PITCHUP waiting for its next meal. Or is this a Fibine? Hiding deep in jungles, these Pokemon find their meals by attracting bug Pokemon with the poisonous nectar in their body.
Oh my god. This one's really hard. I will say, it's not hard in the sense that I don't think it's a choice between Pokemon and D&D monster. I think it's hard in the sense that this is either a Pokemon or one of your OCs.
Ah, okay. So ruling out D&D right away.
Yeah, I think it's an OC. I think this is something that you made up.
Well, Shane, you are correct. This is an OC.
All right, cool.
Well, Shane, those are my 10 attempts at fooling you or trying to get you more interested in the newer ones, in the newer Pokemons.
I love Pokemon. I love the designs. They inspire me. I have nothing but good things to say about them design-wise.
Well, thanks, Shane. I'm so glad we were able to display both our love for Pokemon and our love for D&D.
Yeah, same here. I had no idea what to expect, and you really put a lot of work into these drawings, so I appreciate that you did that. They look really cool, and I feel like anyone watching can probably gain something from this as well. Just like they'll be able to maybe adapt any of these for their games.
Yeah, if you guys really use any of these for your games, the Pokemon into D&D or any other kind of thing, that'd be really cool to see or hear. As for now, yeah, Shane, can you point them over to your channel?
I can definitely try. Yeah, so I'm a guy. I make YouTube videos. Generally, I do podcasts and players the most frequently, where I host a probably a little bit more eloquent than I'm being right now podcast where I interview different content creators who also like D&D, and we talk about our mutual interests together. I do a bit of a get to know you type situation. So, if I could be 100% selfish here, this is podcast of players is just my way of being able to make friends and talk to people. I just want to be able to talk about D&D.
Well, I mean, it worked with us, so that's really cool.
Yeah, it did work with us. And then I also make animations on my channel.
Well, thank you so much for appearing on my channel, Shane, and saying yes to this weird, crazy request.
Dude, thanks for having me. Thanks for even considering asking me. I really appreciate it.
Go ahead and leave a like if you like this, and subscribe if you haven't. Bye.
Bye.